At this point, my friends, I'm going to have to ask the Kamala Harris campaign to just please stop. Stop doing interviews. I don't know, resign or something. This is apocalyptic for this campaign. Kamala Harris goes on Charlemagne the God. She gives some garbage answers. She's collapsing in the polls. She's collapsing in the betting markets. She's getting roasted in the comment section. Rapper Lord Jamar says Kamala Harris isn't even qualified to run Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven. To be fair, not the easiest jobs. So this is, I mean, I'd say something like she's not qualified to wash my car's window with a rag. Because, you know, I don't want to drag down our good Dunkin' Donuts or 7-Eleven employees. That's a hefty lift. You know, the bar is not all the way on the ground like it would be for Kamala Harris. You know, being a manager of a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven, you got to have some skills there. So let's not besmirch the good names of our honest, hardworking individuals who get up every day to serve us donuts, coffee, and wings and pizza in the ready-made thing, right? Kamala Harris, I agree, can't run these things. I don't know why they keep having her do interviews at this point. It seems like she's got a campaign addiction, as I describe it. Her campaign knows she's tanking. They know the only way to turn this around is to get a good hit in the press, but it ain't coming. Now, I'll tell you how this works, right? The reason why she keeps doing these interviews, despite the fact they are blowing up in her face, is that they're hoping the corporate press filtering of the interview itself will help improve things for her. But I would like to stress, my friends, you know what we're seeing? Charlemagne the God posts on Instagram this video clip, and I'll play this for you. And the comments are just spatterings of pro-Trump, anti-Kamala comments. Now, Charlemagne the God's not a right-wing guy. The people who follow him are not right-wing guys. I can already hear it now. The left saying, well, they're review bombing. They're brigading. Let me tell you something. They say this all the time. When a movie would come out and it would get a negative score on Rotten Tomatoes, they'd say it was a review bomb by the far right. Okay, let me just let you guys know something. All right. If you cannot muster up any kind of support to leave good comments for you to the point where it's all negative, you've got no support. That means the motivation is against Kamala Harris and not for. Because I can make the inverse argument, right? If we saw nothing but praise for Kamala Harris, we could be like, oh, that's just her supporters brigading. They're trying to make it look like everyone likes her and they don't. Okay, fine, but they're not doing it. Either way, where is the energy? And when Kamala does this interview with Charlemagne the God, it just sinks her. Right now in Polymarket, Donald Trump is up 20 points. Okay, just shy of 20 points. It was a little bit higher a moment ago, but it's 58.9 to 40.6. I mean, this is nuts how bad she is tanking. And then, of course, we have the betting odds in aggregate showing Donald Trump up 14 points in aggregate.
So, but what do you say to people who say
in the spirit of obviously comedy and not belittling people as my opponent would do?
But what do you say to people who say you stay on the talking points?
I'll add here. He did ask her about SNL. He asked her, are they allowed to make fun of her? She responded, I'm totally fine with that. I got no beef. And Maya Rudolph has been mocking, well, SNL has been mocking Kamala Harris as a drunk. Yo, for real, like a wino. Okay.
I would say you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I love having conversations, which is why I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon.
Saying nothing.
And the reality is that there are certain things that must be repeated to ensure that have everyone know what I stand for and the issues that I think are at stake in this
Holy
election.
crap.
Mm-hmm.
And so it requires repetition. You know, some people say that until someone has heard the same thing at least 3 times, it just doesn't stay with you.
Yo, I got to pause there because when I heard that, I was like, oh, man. Does she know the origin of these ideologies that she's talking about, that you've got to keep repeating things over and over to instill in people's minds? Now, she's not completely wrong, but it's not usually associated with positive behavior when you tell someone you've got to repeat things over and over again to stick it in their minds. We got this from the BBC, How Liars Create the Illusion of Truth from 2016. Repetition makes a fact seem more true, regardless of whether it is or not. I'm actually surprised she came on and said, yo, this is why she can't do interviews, okay? There's a real simple answer if you were to ask me. So what do you say to people who think you're staying on script? I just respond with, are they saying that I'm talking about my campaign's policies too much? I'll give them to you right now if you want. Done. I said it. You notice how it took her like 30 seconds to get there.
So repetition is important. And for that reason, yes, at my rallies, I say the same thing when I go to Detroit as I do in Philly, as I do wherever.
But that's not the criticism, dude. The criticism is that when people like Charlemagne or anybody else asks her a question, she just repeats a scripted line.
I am, to make sure that people hear and receive what I think are some of the most critical issues that are at stake in this election.
Oh, I just can't take how she talks so long to say so little. That's just me. You can, by all means, guys, if you're like, Kamala Harris is bad policy, she's annoying, all that stuff, it's like, fine. But I got to tell you, the rhetorical things have really, really bugged me, okay? The rhetorical, let me explain. When you get these news articles and it'll be titled like Kamala Harris says, Trump is a fascist. And I'm like, oh, wow, I'd like to see what she said. And the first paragraph is like, it was a calm evening. The sun was setting over a beautiful sky, the clouds rolling in. I sat across from a man who gave me a stern look. And I'm like, I don't want to read a novel, dude. If I want to read Harry Potter, I'll read Harry Potter. I want you to write for me the news and explain what it is that Kamala said and is doing. And by all means, give me your thoughts on it, but don't write me a story. I do not like having my time wasted. That's why I talk really fast. So when Kamala goes on these interviews, it's insufferable. Right, dude? He says, what's your tax proposal? Well, a lot of people are very concerned about, I come from a middle-class family, and my economic proposal is about an opportunity economy, an economy that creates opportunity. Yes, how is it going to create opportunity? That was the question. The question was, what are you doing to make the economy better? And instead, you said, I'm going to make a good economy. That's not an answer to anything. Anyway, you get me all riled up. So Charlemagne the God posts this. The top comment with 2,000 likes says, I think this interview has pushed me towards Trump. The next one says she is clearly the best choice for president. I'm pretty sure that's sarcasm, but hey, maybe not. One person called her retarded. Another terrible ass-kissing interview. This made me want Trump more. Trump's got my independent vote. The more she talks, the less I like her. Not voting for her, voting for Trump. She's making it easier and easier for those in doubt to vote Trump. I literally cannot afford another 4 years of her. Trump 2024. Here's a black dude saying she's not black. What talking point? She never answers a damn question.
This woman, to me, is not qualified to run a Dunkin' Donuts or a 7-Eleven, let alone the corporation that we call United States of America. Her, and the Ganges she rode in on, God damn it.